I know it was on the Cruiserweight Classic for a while. I don't know if they got rid of it or not.
We're recording, dickhead! Oh my god! Fucking keep this. Oh my god! You're scaring the shit out of me, kid! Oh.
Test is sponsored by We Are Wrestling. You can find
Make sure to subscribe, baby.
What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host, the best one, Donnie, here with...
What's going on, everybody? Danny Huckins here, man. With...
The Mean Machine. The fucking less toxic of the two sticks in pure rage. The bigger AEW fan than Danny because he's seeing AEW before him live! Ben, what is going up? What is going on, guys? Don, what are we doing tonight? Dan, did you catch that, or did that phew, right over your head?
You're going to see AEW?
Yeah, before you, bitch. So who's the bigger fucking fan now? Bitch, me. So I want that fucking title around my waist. I'm borrowing it. I'm renting it for the night. Anyways, sorry. Sorry, I needed to get that out of my system.
Whoa.
I'm a bigger fan. I'm the mark. Dan is not an AEW fan whatsoever. I let him borrow that belt. Quote
Bitch,
me.
you can go to Walmart and get yourself one.
I might,
If
honestly.
you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, and you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers, the best way to support the channel is by hitting that subscribe button now, turning on the post notifications, videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO, and of course you already know, the grind is real. And I can't wait to go to AEW with you, Ben.
Absolutely, man. I'm really fucking stoked to go see the show. All of them. Rampage, Dynamite, and
Elevation.
Elevation. What about Dark?
Nah, Dark's in Universal Studios, Orlando,
Fuck out of here.
Florida.
That's fucking stupid. Alright, anyways, continue.
Yeah,
Go see
so
Abdon. That's
this
fucking
week,
whack.
this week's, topic for this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling Talk Show, we're going to be talking about the best of the Cruiserweights. But
Let's
before we
fucking
get
go.
before we get into that, just want to, show off something real quick that I got signed over the weekend at the Standalone Wrestling. I got to meet Johnny Hungy, John Silver, very nice guy. Just wanted to put that out there.
Bro.
But anything you guys want to talk about before we get into the topic?
Yeah, I want you to talk about your shit show of a show that you fucking went to. Let's talk about
Okay.
that first.
Yeah, I
All
want
right,
to hear
I'll
all
try
the
to keep
stories.
this. Okay, so I'll try to keep this as fast as possible. So I went to the show, had very low expectations going into it because I've never been to this wrestling promotion indie show ever in my life. Because I usually go to Blitzkrieg Pro, Northeast Wrestling, and sometimes Big Time Wrestling. But this was a very new promotion, standalone wrestling. This event was being held at Pistol Pete's Bar outside their bar in Norwich, Connecticut. So I drove
Norwich,
about an
wow.
hour to this event because they had lots of wrestlers that I have not got the opportunity to meet, like John Silver, Serpentico. Also they were supposed to have Marco Stunt, TJ Perkins. They were also supposed to have Bob
My
Backlund
Filipino
there,
brother.
Gangrel.
Gangrel would have
even-
been lit.
Yeah, and Davey Richards. And unfortunately, I go to this show, I paid $20 to, go in to, meet the wrestlers, and I met John Silver. I got, his figure, and I ended up getting his 8x10 as well signed. And then I also got to meet AEW star Serpentico,
Yeah.
who was there. Very nice guy.
Good shit.
And then here's what happened. So they also did have Lince Dorado. He was there, and they also had Kalisto as well. But after that, all the guys that they had advertised on their poster, like Bob Backlund, I did not see him. Davey Richards got stuck at his house because of a tornado that happened. So he couldn't make it to the show, which kind of sucked.
Could you imagine calling up, like, yeah, I
Stunt-
can make it. Fucking tornado's about to take me out.
Marco Stunt bailed on the thing, according to the promoter that brings him, but the promoter has lots of history of telling people that they're going to be at the show, and then they end up not being there. And this was a situation that happened. TJ Perkins, I think, backed out a few weeks ago, but the part that I was very disappointed about the most about this event was they did not let any of their fans know that these people like Marco Stunt, Davey Richards, Perkins, all these guys were not going to be there. So people literally wasted their time driving, because I knew some people that were actually there that wanted to meet Davey Richards. So they paid the general admission $20, and they literally wasted it because the guy that they wanted to meet wasn't fucking there.
Yeah, that's fucking
That
awful,
promotion's
man.
not gonna last long.
Oh, it's not. It's done. It's got to be. If it's not, I'm surprised.
Yeah, so also here, and it was so bad that literally as I'm walking out, I actually saw an NWA wrestler that I'd never heard of named Manny Fernandez, and I met him as well. I don't know why, I just met him as well. Fuck it.
Hey, a fucking NWA legend. Fuck it. Take the opportunity.
It amazes me that promotions like that are able to get so many, even like besides the guys that weren't there. Like, they got Lindsay Dorado, they got Kalisto, they got, Johnny Hungy. I'm surprised they were able to book all of these people and they actually showed up.
Yeah, that's the thing that is very surprising. I don't know if the people that aren't there, if it is standalone wrestling's fault. I don't think it is. It's the promoters that SAW is bringing into the show, which this guy, I'm not going to name drop him because I just don't like to do that stuff. But this guy has a history of, screwing people over and, promising certain talent that would not end up, being there. And that is why Blitzkrieg Pro is not working with the guy anymore, because he originally would bring in talent at Blitzkrieg, but they cut ties with him, and now, he's doing this at Standalone Wrestling. Feel bad for the promoter, but it is what it is. I had a really bad experience, so instead of staying there suffering, I decided to leave with my girlfriend and my friends, and we went to Cheesecake Factory, and it was fucking delicious.
There are a lot of shady promoters, they're in it for the money or whatever, and they'll promise all, as long as they can get that bag, man, they'll promise this and that.
Dude, in the last remaining days of Walker Stalker Con, off topic, but it came down to the same exact thing. The promoters, dude, they fucking, a lot of stars like made their own announcements saying that they weren't going to be doing it because, the people that were promoting Walker Stalker.
That's why I couldn't meet fucking Rikishi, because the promoter that advertised Rikishi at the Wrestling Classic 2, he freaking fucked him over.
Yep. I believe
and I could have met him in March, and I didn't, because I was like, oh, I'm going to see him at the Wrestling Classic too.
It's rough, man, because, you expect these promoters to be,
I wanted Rikishi to give me a fucking stink face.
Oh, God.
Whoa.
Oh, God. I can't say that on YouTube. I apologize. Please do not demonetize us.
You're not going to demonetize, but, bro, that's...
But, hey, I will say one good thing. Statement. One good thing about the promotion, I did get my John Silver figure signed. I've been wanting to meet him for a while. Okay. Because I used to watch him wrestle all the time at Blitzkrieg Pro and Big Time Wrestling. So I was very happy about that. But besides that, I was a little bit disappointed.
What do you guys think?
No, and rightfully so.
And Fandango being at the Blitzkrieg show coming up.
Yes. Yep. So the Pierogi Hall on Friday, June 24th, Blitzkrieg Pro is going to be putting on their fourth annual Luau show. And they got Dirty Dango, they got Summer Rae, and more talent to be announced. We are wrestling. We're a proud sponsor of them, and it's going to be an awesome time. We're all going to be in the house, so if you're looking for a night out and you're in and around the Connecticut area,
I'm stoked for that vlog.
Go to Blitzkrieg Pro.
I'm so excited for that vlog. I'm just going to casually put my leg out during that show, like my foot, and if they're out on the apron and they're looking for something to bounce, fucking someone's face off of, I will rightfully just...
Remember, if you're at the show as well, bring pool float weapons. That's what they want.
Noodles?
They're telling fans that you could bring friggin' pool floats and, make weapons out of them. They are going to have an awesome match. They do this every luau. It's mad fun.
All right, we're going to stop and we're going to get mad noodles. We're going to get mad noodles and start beating the shit out of people with it.
Yo, we can buy the pool noodles and just put thumbtacks to them. Like on the inside, have it.
All right, so
out.
I really need to find somewhere that has a ring where I can train a little bit, and then we're gonna talk to the promoters at Blitzkrieg, and I want to do not a match, but an angle, just to kind of
for We Are Wrestling Invasion
for fucking We Are Wrestling.
And you want to know who's gonna wait? But here's the thing, Danny. You want to know who's gonna lead this invasion?
You
50 cal.
450 cal.
Just remember, Jay is better than Jimmy.
Jay
So,
is better
getting
than Jimmy.
into this week's topic on the We Are Wrestling Talk Show, we are going to be talking about the Cruiserweights. We're going to, talk about the Cruiserweights, some of our favorite small guys in the business that, didn't really get recognized for the work that they have done, because a lot of them, have always overachieved, but never really got the accolades and, appreciation for the work that they have done.
Dude,
So
that is an overshadowed division that has brought so much to the table for even the big guys that you see doing a lot of this crazy shit, and that's all to the fucking cruiserweights and a lot of their legends, such as Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, Psychosis, Juventud, Guerrero, fucking, the list goes on and on. But you have other guys like Billy Kidman, Paul London.
Dean
Malenko, we just talked about, in part 1 of recording this very talk show before Dan was like, "Hey guys, I'm here." But no, those are some legendary names, and a lot of them, and Exhibit A being Rey Mysterio, turned heavyweight, and he has massive success. You have Eddie Guerrero, who won the WWE Championship. The cruiserweights are something if utilized correctly, and I feel like even to this day, they're so fucking misused and not taken seriously when they have an amazing thing they used to bring to the screen in the early days and even to the latter days of the Ruthless Aggression era.
Yeah.
Like one match in particular we were talking about that I was still so in depth until it was like, hey, do we want a third? Danny's coming.
Hey, Danny, can you take a guess which wrestler he's talking about here? He is a cruiserweight, and you know how much he loves him.
Probably Rey Mysterio if I had to guess.
You really must not know your buddy Ben. Come on, really think about it.
He used to always talk about fucking Rey Mysterio.
Nah, there's somebody else he talks about a little bit more that a lot of people don't talk about.
And I've actually spoken to this person. It's not a weird obsession. Yes, absolutely. That is the person that I'm actually referring to. And I'm talking about his.
I've only seen probably 4 or 5 of his matches.
Bro, you've never seen the fucking Billy Kidman and Paul London feud back in 2004 leading up to No Mercy?
Bro, I don't fucking
that was one of the greatest cruiserweight feuds of all time, period, in WWE. That shit was brutal, bro.
It's very rare that I go back and watch old SmackDown.
Oh my god, bro.
To, like 2004, 2005, I'm
Danny was a Raw kid.
He was a Raw kid?
He was a Raw kid.
And that's fine. Raw kids are fine, but like that again, like it doesn't matter the brand. That rivalry in that feud was one of, if not one of the greatest solidified in cruiserweight history in any promotion, realistically. Like that was a personal angle. Like that shit was ridiculous, dude. Like they even how the story in the beginning was crafted was organic as fuck. And this is when WWE was on fire, dude. Like on fucking fire. Like where you didn't see an end in sight to the fire.
SmackDown versus Raw.
Like, bro, fucking. So I don't know if you recall, but back in like the early days of 2004, Billy Kidman and Paul London were the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. They won the titles from Chavo Guerrero, and I don't know who at the time. It may have been Eddie Guerrero. I'm not entirely sure. But Billy Kidman did the shooting star press off of the top rope and landed, and that was like his finishing move. Landed on Chavo Guerrero's face, and it almost like broke his shit.
I loved his finisher.
Like dude got taken out like on a stretcher, had his eyes looked at, like it was almost like it was almost. I don't know if it was an entire work or if it like something actually happened and they just turned it into a storyline. But Billy Kidman was basically like traumatized of what happened to Chavo Guerrero and like refused to do the shooting star press, which was like the finisher. That was like the end for the match if that happened. So leading up to that, Kidman had a lot of, for lack of a better term, performance issues. And eventually that started to, disrupt this whole like friendship and team effort that was coming between him and Paul London, and eventually costed them the tag team championship rather, because Kidman straight up just walked the fuck out of the match, and London was already injured with a shoulder injury and costed them the titles. And basically, London called him out on a following SmackDown, I believe, or maybe like a couple weeks after, saying, like, what, are you so fucking ashamed from what happened to fucking Chavo that you can't wrestle anymore? He's like, what do you have to fucking say for yourself? It cost us the tag team champions. And basically, he was like, oh, do you? Nothing. So London straight up fucking bitch slapped him. I'm talking like heated up the fucking iron and branded a fucking smack into this man's jaw. Like that was some of, if not the one of the greatest promo deliveries from from like a not really big wrestler in WWE, but his promo work for that angle was incredible. Like incredible. Dude was actually ridiculous on the mic in a serious angle. Like
And
if you, I will
didn't
send you
and
the
my
links to check it
question
out.
is, and didn't Billy Kidman turn heel
He
in
did.
this?
He did. He was the heel in
And
this
then he
angle.
fucked Paul London up with that shooting star press.
Yeah, fast forward to No Mercy. There was a stipulation. Teddy Long straight up said, because Kidman kept walking out of all of his fucking matches and not doing the shooting star press, because that was a huge draw for the show. And he was like, everybody wants to see you do it. Like, why the fuck aren't you doing it? And he was like, well, I don't want to see anybody get hurt. He's like, listen, I haven't had to fire anybody else since I took over, but I don't mind having you be the first. So the stipulation was, if he didn't face Paul London at No Mercy, he was fired.
Yep,
And
and then
he,
didn't
and
he fuck him up?
dude, that was a good match. That was like a fucking 20-minute match, dude. Like that was a big match. Both fucked each other up significantly, but it did end with Kidman doing a shooting star press. London started bleeding out of his mouth, and then he did it again while he was getting put on a gurney, and did it again, and this dude was just pouring blood out of his fucking mouth, dude. Like it was internal damage, and he got taken out on a stretcher.
Can I just
Shit
say
was
around that
nuts, bro.
time? Can I just say around that time, I loved Billy Kidman's work as a heel. He had the
Dude,
short
he was
hair.
unhinged.
He had
He
the
was
short
unhinged.
hair. His entrance song, "You Can Run, But You Can't Hide." Like, I loved Billy Kidman around that time. And I feel like after the Paul London storyline, instead of utilizing him more and giving him that significant push that he deserved when he was red hot, they kind of just let him fizzled out. And then next thing you know, he left WWE.
Yeah. Like it's and he was actually just recently released because he was a backstage producer for quite some time. But yeah, it's absolutely nuts that like he just kind of dialed back and just kind of eventually disappeared from the ring. But dude, that if that's the way he went out, dude, like it was excellent, absolutely fucking excellent.
And he looked like a legitimate threat because of the
Yeah,
shooting star press. And I really liked
he
around that time how they did that.
he ended it in a way, kind of like a swan song in a way, because like it was a real, he ended it while it was still hot, like the pan was still very hot, so he just
Yeah.
bounced, like he's like, all right, dinner
So,
served, boom, you're done, like that was it. And if that's the way to go, excellent, because dude, he was actually solidified in that match specifically for me as a solid eventual top guy player, because his heel work was incredible, and so was his
yeah,
in-ring.
so now my question to you, Danny, is tell us one of your favorite cruiserweight rivalries, since Ben just talked about the London and Kidman.
The only one that I like, and I hate to say this, and it's gonna make me sound like an idiot. The only one that I really remember is Shane Helms. He was the longest cruiserweight champion. I also remember the storyline with Matt Hardy or whatever, and Shannon Moore, his MFer, and he was trying to
Oh,
get
the
Matt
Matt
Hardy
version one.
he was trying to get Matt Hardy in the shape or whatever so he could go for the cruiserweight title. I remember that stuff. But like when it comes to like the Paul London and Billy Kidman, I have zero recollection of any of that ever happening.
Bro,
When that stuff started happening, 14, 15, I was at like a weird stage to where it
no, of
wasn't
course,
cool to be a pro wrestling fan, so
no, of course, man. Of course, and like we've all had that phase, but dude, nowadays we all don't give a fuck. But I will literally send you that match because it is a worth watch. Like, dude, for me, because of how just notorious that match is, it was a 5-star classic for me. But just brutal. It was a 5-star classic cruiserweight
I'll definitely check it
just
out.
The
battle.
storytelling was great too.
It was
You gotta send
a
him the video package.
put it to you this way: it has a whole vignette video package prior, like the promo and like the whole history leading up to it, and I'll send you that as well. And it was a non-title match on a big pay-per-view at the time. That's how big that rivalry was, and it fucking delivered, dude. Like everybody was genuinely concerned about London at the end of the match. Like he took time off after it for a while and then resurged, to be a tag team champion with Brian Kendrick eventually.
I kind of have a question to ask both of you, and it's a question
But we ain't
that
gonna talk about his fucking work in Lucha Underground though, because that's where it gets real good. But anyways, continue.
it's a question that I don't feel like a lot of people talk about or ask. But when it comes to the light heavyweight title and the cruiserweight title, they're pretty much the same thing.
They
They
are.
did retire the light
Yeah.
heavyweight championship once WWE bought WCW and brought over the cruiserweight title.
It just made sense because it basically just was the same thing, and Cruiserweight just sounds better.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, like, what are your thoughts on it? Seeing as it was pretty much the same fucking title, there's really
It was basically the same title, so to cancel one of them out and just use the word Cruiserweight, it rolls off the tongue better, easier to say instead of saying light heavyweight because, it has its own ring to it. Because I would have even taken featherweight.
And here's the thing as well. WCW really solidified the cruiserweight division. They really gave them
It did.
a national,
Platform.
televised platform to really show what the cruiserweights were all about. And a lot of big names like Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho, Eddie
Psychosis.
Guerrero, Psychosis, they all,
The Juice.
Juice and Thunder Liger, they all
3
came
count.
from
Just 3
WCW
count. Yeah.
Cruiserweight division. And I think, with
Some made their
WWE,
eventual fucking move to ECW.
with WWE buying WCW, I think them, going from light heavyweight to cruiserweight, best decision they made because when you think about the brand split with Raw and SmackDown, you have Raw that was more about the superstars, the stars. SmackDown was more about the wrestling side of things. So you had the cruiserweight title that would bring that competitive matches like your Brian Kendrick and Billy Kidman, Rey Mysterio and Matt Hardy. So many classics.
I did notice that a lot. Like when you looked at Raw, like they had a lot of the bigger guys. They had Evolution, they had Batista, Triple H, they had all these guys. And
SmackDown was seen as basically like the Rampage. It was basically like the Rampage. It was like the smaller show because it was just getting solidified at the time and it was still very new, because, SmackDown came around like maybe between 01 and 03? 1999. Okay, so 1999. So it was still relatively new. Raw had been around for quite a while at this point. So it's like that was the bigger show. Like if you were a bigger guy going for bigger shit, that's where the show was at.
SmackDown also gave people a bad taste because I think within like the first month of it actually airing, Draws ended up getting paralyzed by D'Lo Brown.
Yeah.
Ooh, I remember that.
I do want to bring it back on topic to the whole cruiserweight division and everything. Bring it back to Paul London specifically, but if you want to see really good work by him, Dan, go down the rabbit hole per se. And check out Lucha Underground. Paul London, he is like a cult leader of this like psychedelic cult, and he has like this top hat, white fucking like jumpsuit on with like big like black glasses. He has like a cane and shit, and he's just really like trippy. But guess who's also in his stable that he was running? Killer Cross. He played the White Rabbit. And it was fucking ridiculous. He was like the tank of the stable. It was ridiculous work, and that was some of Paul London's best performance. Like not only in ring, but his mic skills and the fact that he was the leader of this stable that had big names like Killer Cross. It was lit. So I would definitely say, dude, check it out. Highly recommend, dude. Lucha Underground is lit as fuck.
All right. So now, like moving forward with the cruiserweights, I kind of want to get into a little bit WCW because I feel like, that's like where the cruiserweights really took off.
Absolutely.
Because, of course, you had your Hulk Hogans, you had your Randy Savages, your Stings, your Goldbergs, you had all these big guys. But I feel like the one thing that was really, made WCW stand out was the cruiserweight division around that time. And I feel like they really didn't really get recognized for a lot of the stuff that they did until after WCW died.
Absolutely. And a lot of those same, little guys, the wrestlers and the cruiserweights, a lot of them made their shift over to ECW and put on some of like the best matches. I mean, there's been some monumental fucking matches in ECW, like Rey Mysterio's match in ECW when he had the fucking purple gear with the question marks and shit. That shit was fucking lit.
Oh my, that was Halloween. No, with the purple, that was Halloween Havoc 96.
Oh, was that? That was
or no,
WCW,
Halloween Havoc 96 or 98.
That was before he demasked, right? Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, that was Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio.
Oh my god, that was wow. I feel
that's the story.
Stupid. Yeah,
you can play that story mode in the new WWE game.
Whoopsie. Whoopsie. But I do want to bring up a really good match. It's in the ECW WCW fucking demographic, but I think it was around 2006, and I think it was one of the one night stands where it was Sabu versus Rey Mysterio.
Oh my god,
that was a ridiculous match because, dude, Sabu, oh my god, that is.
I can't believe he was in WWE.
That dude, should have gone higher, honestly, because Sabu is ridiculous. That dude was ECW. Him, Sandman, Tommy Dreamer, like, oh
New
my
Jack.
god, New Jack, yep. Like, dude, every fucking thing was great. Oh, that fucking match was absolutely bonkers, dude. That was actually one of the first matches that he ended up wearing tights again, which is kind
Yeah.
of was a weird sight considering he was like going heavyweight at that time. It was just
Oh, with
really
Rey
odd.
Mysterio. Yes,
Yeah, it
I
was
remember
very
that.
odd. That was
For
like
the
one of
one
his
night
big ones.
stands, he would do
Yes.
that. But
2006, right?
one of my favorite cruiserweights, man, in WCW had to be Chris Jericho. I feel like that title and that division really set him up like for success. Even though he didn't get that success in WCW, he was still able to use that little bits of time to, create the Jericho character, which,
Yeah.
would lead to him being Raw is Jericho.
Remember when Jericho?
That impression was fantastic, by the
Remember
way.
Jericho spent 15 minutes inside in the ring counting down all the maneuvers he knows. He had an entire fucking
The
list,
1,000 moves.
I
1,001
fucking
move.
That was one of
love
my favorite
Jericho.
rivalries of all time in the cruiserweights, man.
That's something I'm
Jericho and
excited about.
Malenko.
That's something I'm excited to see in
And
AEW when we go.
the conspiracy theories
Get
with
to see Jericho
Jericho.
wrestle again.
Like Jericho protesting, that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Those vignettes in WCW, but I
Remember
What
really
when?
feel like
about
that really set him up for success.
Remember when he couldn't find his way to the ring and he was walking backstage like, "Where the hell's the ring?" Remember that?
Yo, remember
Jesus.
the fat guys that would be like his security, like Goldberg? When he was trying to get that match with Goldberg, that was hilarious.
So for cruiserweight, back to the cruiserweight talk. What were you guys' thoughts on the 2006 Royal Rumble for the it was like a battle, like not really a battle
The
royal, but it was like
gauntlet,
the gauntlet for the fucking
scramble,
cruiserweight channel. Yes, the
match,
scramble.
and that's when Shane Helms won the first his first time winning it as Shane Helms, right?
No, it was as Gregory Helms.
Yeah, Gregory Helms. I meant, my bad on that.
His heel work on as Gregory Helms was actually really fucking awesome. Like he was actually on fire as that character.
That's the crazy thing. Like he was so good around that time. Like he was a champ for like a whole year.
Dude,
to where
yeah.
like he was like the only star that they really had in that cruiserweight division, to where they had to like retire the cruiserweight belt because of that.
Yeah, dude, he made that title like prestigious. That is something I will give Shane Helms, Gregory Helms, fucking Hurricane, if you will. Like, dude,
Man,
that dude is another creative guy.
Definitely should have been going for the US title.
Shane Helms is
around
one
that
of the
time.
most underrated cruiserweights there has ever fucking been. Like as like Hurricane, this is like his joke gimmick where
Hey!
he'll get the shit beaten out of him. But fucking dude, Gregory Helms was a force to be reckoned with as a heel.
You asshole! You're not supposed to let out his secret identity, man. You don't
I
go
don't fucking
around.
care. It's not like he's part of Wait, is he back in WW now? Like, is he got released and is he back
Producer.
now? He's a producer again?
Yeah.
Okay, well, regardless of the fact.
Stand
like,
back! There's a hurricane coming through.
I don't know why they don't
Dude.
utilize it in the Royal Rumble or anything.
So I want to talk about that match because that was some of the greatest cruiserweight, like anything that I had seen in that like specific era of the end of the Ruthless Aggression era.
Kid Cash.
Kid Cash, Jamie Noble, Nunzio, fucking Gregory Helms, Paul London, who arguably was the MVP of that match because that moonsault off of the fucking top rope into that crowd of them was ridiculous. Ridiculous. He was the star of that match and arguably should have won it if not Gregory Helms retaining or getting it rather. Like
Yeah.
arguably should have won it because he wasn't even supposed to be in that match and got added last second and then won.
Yeah, and that's crazy. Like he really like got set up for success.
I can't.
And it's crazy to see him go from being Hurricane to Gregory Helms. Such an awesome transition.
There's a hurricane coming in.
And around the time he was wearing the do-rag too. That was before Vince McMahon started wearing the do-rag.
No, actually, he wasn't
Gregory
wearing
Helms.
the do-rag yet. But he started in late 2006 going to 07.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. He did it before Vince McMahon did it.
Well, yeah, because that was arguably one of the greatest matches of all time, just because of the fact that Donald Trump was eventually our president at one point. So we got to see the president of the United States take down Vince McMahon, which was kind of sick. I'm not even gonna lie. Looking back at it now, it was kind of sick. That is when I loved Donald Trump, is when he was just a fucking doofus ass celebrity. Like, that's honestly when I loved him. But
Yeah,
now I'm just
but back then we didn't have social media, so he wouldn't be able to go on his tirades.
yeah, so he was still positively, he was still in the public eye somewhat of a good person. But then, once he was able to, spread his shit around the world, it's like, oh, well, this guy, man. Fucking, yeah, that was like, again, when the last of the great cruiserweight matches really were put on, other than, cruiserweights going to the tag team division, and stuff like that. Because
London and
that's
Kendrick.
Kid Cash and Jamie Noble with the Pitbulls. That's another thing.
Wow.
Yeah, you forgot, didn't you?
I did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You forgot. That's another cruiserweight that got thrown
I
into
can
a
tell
tag
you were
team.
definitely a SmackDown kid.
I was definitely a SmackDown kid from like 05 to like maybe the very beginning of 07. I wouldn't even say that, like late 06, and then I shifted to Raw during the Raw and SmackDown era, because
I
then I
know why
saw
you shifted over. Vicky Guerrero. Excuse
No,
me.
dude, your impressions on some of these are spot on. I can't even fucking
I feel like a
I
lot.
respect where it's due.
I feel like a lot of people around Ben's age back then, a lot more of them watched SmackDown because it was like on Thursdays and then transition into Fridays or whatever.
So we were able to
I
stay
did.
up and shit.
On Mondays,
I
it
watched
was
SmackDown as well.
on
over Raw.
Mondays it was 9 to 11. You had school the next day, and your parents wouldn't always
Yeah.
let you stay up.
You bitch, you thought I fucking turned that TV on the moment I heard Eddie
Right.
walking. I turned that shit the fuck off.
That's right.
Mean.
That's right. My mom and
Don't
dad would
trust
say,
the boy with the fucking
"Good-"
TV in his room.
literally that's what would happen. So they'd be like, "Good night, son. I love you," and I'd be like, "Love you too." And then next thing you know, as
Look
soon
at
as
the
they go to bed,
guns, the drugs from my generation. Look at come on. Let's get it out. You're just like
okay.
fucking going
Now
in when you're
speaking
like,
of
he's such a
the
sweet boy,
ruthless,
already asleep.
We got to make an episode on the best theme songs.
yo,
Oh,
speaking of the ruthless aggression era, one of my favorite cruiserweight champions that really stand out to me, and I think Danny might definitely agree with me on this one,
The
Matt
Dicks?
Hardy,
Oh,
version 1. I
the
feel like he
Dicks.
really made that cruiserweight championship so prestigious, and then he had Shannon Moore by his side.
Do you
And
all
an
remember the tag
attitude.
team called the Dicks?
I remember the tag team called the Heartthrobs, and that one of the members.
You don't remember
No,
the
that
Dicks?
from the Heartthrobs. One of those guys was actually my substitute teacher in middle school.
Nice, but do you remember the
Antonio
Dicks?
Thomas.
Do you remember the Dicks?
I feel like it sounds very familiar, but I'm not
Dude,
sure.
I will never forget the classic Jerry Lawler freak out when fucking Batista and I think Eddie Guerrero team was during that tag team reign, and Batista got in the ring and both of them were in the ring and he was just fucking just going in on them, and Jerry Lawler's like, oh my god, Batista's beating on the Dicks. I just fucking remember 9-year-old me just crying because I knew exactly what the fuck he was talking about. I was just dying. So the fact that you don't remember that alone for being the trademark of your memory of the Dicks, I am surprised, because that was literally a great opportunity.
Attitude.
Dude, seriously, that was the great
I
opportunity.
was a Raw kid, man. But like I said, by the time like 2004, 2005, like a lot of those, I stopped watching for a long
Danny,
time.
you're a little bit too far from your microphone. I don't think people can hear you.
Yeah, bro. And secondly, I'm gonna say, dude, SmackDown was probably arguably the better show from like mid 05 during the SmackDown versus Raw era into the end of 05, and maybe even arguably the end of 06, because of the massive storylines you had with Randy Orton, Undertaker, Batista, Eddie Guerrero, Batista, JBL. Like when it shifted, like you had a lot of shit going on.
Donnie.
A lot of
and that was
up-and-coming guys, too, like
yeah,
Johnny Nitro and Joey Mercury.
Donnie.
a lot of tag
The
team divisions.
Mexicools.
They were fucking sick. Though, to watch.
Super crazy.
How fucking racist it was having them come out on lawnmowers, though. Can you talk about how fucking
Hey,
racist that
on
was?
Raw, you had Kerwin White.
See, I feel like Simon Dean was Elias's older brother.
Yes.
I feel like
Simon Dean was one of the best.
I can hear his theme song still in my head. And like all I can remember from Simon Dean is fucking him coming out in the Royal Rumble 2006, and he's on his fucking Segway and he's coming down the shit and he flips the guy a coin and he's like, yeah. And then the camera phones over. He's like, yeah. And he was like, shut up, benefit. And then it cut away. It was just like, yeah, shut up. It just fucking cut screen. Shit was fucking hilarious, dude. Like, I could never take Simon Dean seriously.
Yo, here's another thing about the Cruiserweight title real quick. This is around the time where, like, the title was kind of, like, retiring. Like, it was, like, over it. Remember the time when, Jamie Noble was trying to capture Hornswoggle? And then Hornswoggle, like, would always find a way to, like, embarrass him.
Mm-hmm.
Hornswoggle is the last champion. That's, like, the only disappointing thing.
You know, off topic, but it has nothing to do with cruiserweights, but it actually kind of does with the terms of Hornswoggle. So you remember when, like, Vince McMahon was supposed to find his illegitimate child? You realize that was supposed to be Ken Kennedy?
Yep,
but then it switched over to fucking Hornswoggle because there was some, like, shit that was going on with him with this whole roid shit. Yeah. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Randy Orton hated him too.
Oh, fucking! If Randy Orton hated you, yeah, your shit was a wrap. That was it. But Kofi Kingston still prevailed. Haha. Final laughs.
Donnie was at the SmackDown taping in Springfield when Undertaker got his ass beat by Randy Orton.
That was
when
arguably
the Boogeyman lit my freaking thigh on fire.
To this day, I don't think any other SmackDown rivalry is really going to top the Randy Orton Undertaker rivalry. That shit was ridiculous, dude. Ridiculous.
I cannot remember why I didn't go. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. But I will say this, another, like, really, like, underrated thing that really stands out to me when it comes to the cruiserweights, the X division in TNA. I feel like
I have nothing to put on into this.
Oh, I know. You guys probably don't, but I got to talk about it because I love TNA wrestling. And I'm not going to lie to you. When it came to the cruiserweights in WWE versus the X Division, I felt like the X Division kicked the cruiserweights' asses around Ruthless Aggression time. Because here's the thing. One of the best matches of all time in TNA, Ultimate X, where they would hang the X Division Championship right in the middle of, like, cables that would be like an X.
Yeah.
Such an incredible stipulation match. You had legends like AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, and Samoa Joe putting on classics after classics, which Samoa Joe, man, he was a super heavyweight, but that man was freaking wrestling like a freaking cruiserweight X Division.
Yeah.
Absolutely nuts. Chris Sabin was really good. Alex Shelley. Friggin' Austin Aries around the time.
Actually who I do remember is Chris Sabin. Because he was actually on my radar for a long time when I was actually watching TNA back in 05.
He's still in
Petey
Impact.
Williams. So many talented guys came out of that, I really felt like.
I actually started watching TNA for Kurt Angle when he made the jump shortly before Kurt Angle, actually, because I remember watching Kurt Angle's final match on SmackDown against Rey Mysterio for the heavyweight title, which he actually retained. And then I remember Kurt Angle handing him the title, shaking his hand, giving him a hug, and then walking out. And that was like his last match.
And then he left.
He didn't go to ECW, I don't think. Oh, he did. That's right. He went for a little bit, and then he left and went to TNA. And then that's when he was going through his shit.
The first time I started watching TNA was when they had Christian Cage. One of my cousins recommended me to start watching it, and then I fell in love with it.
Yeah, I forgot that Christian was there for a while, and then he came back in like 2000. Yeah, then he came back in 07 or something.
The Motor City Machine Guns, they need to go to WWE or they need to go to AEW.
I gotta fucking, dude, like, talking about all this nostalgic shit makes me want to
hear you. I think you were choking on your popcorn.
Or some dick. But I really...
episode.
This is a great episode. But...
It is, here's why it's a great episode. Because...
Jesus Christ.
Here's why this is a great episode.
Sucking on a bicycle.
We could barely hear Danny talk. That's like why I think this is such a good episode.
5-star. But where was I going with that before this dude decided to gargle on his fucking microphone?
And popcorn. Don't forget about him gargling on his smart food.
Yep. But yeah, I started watching him for Kurt Angle, and then eventually shifted to AJ Styles, which kind of like, I know he's not really a cruiserweight, but he was
X Division, man. He was the first ever X Division champion.
That is very true. And he turned up his fucking microphone. I'm Yep, I am going to.
No, I
take this out real
didn't.
quick. Yeah, you did. I could hear the
Oh,
static.
now
I
I
could hear
see
your
the
background
difference.
enhanced. So get ready, Donnie. I would rather. You might want to take off your fucking.
There we go. That's good now.
How's that?
That's better.
Way better now.
Yeah, I can hear when you turn it up because I can hear your whole environment turn back up too. So I'm like, I'm getting ready. But yeah, because that last one almost blew up my damn eardrum, bro.
This is a
Yeah.
great unprofessional show.
Yeah,
It is. Anything can happen on the We Are
Anything.
Wrestling Talk Show. That's why it's amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
So, you guys want to get into now some luchadors? Like,
Dude,
'cause,
absolutely.
luchadors are, some of the
One
most
of my
outstanding
dude,
cruiserweights out there.
One of my favorites ever to perform, even on ECW, just like his. And it's sad that he didn't get a push in his singles run. Super crazy. 100% is a very underrated performer because he can do some crazy, again, super crazy shit. Like he was very fun to watch. Out of all of the Mexicals, he was the most fun to watch, in my opinion.
My name is Super. My last name's Crazy. I'm super crazy.
I can actually still do his
Super
little
Crazy
thing, his
was
little flip
awesome.
thing. I can still do that shit.
How about you, Danny?
How what?
Your favorite luchador wrestler?
My fucking god. His favorite luchador wrestler is definitely Kalisto. Maybe Lince Dorado. I don't know. He looks like one of those like luchador mini lovers. I
was never a huge fan of like if I were to have
Hornswoggle with the Rey Mysterio mask.
Yes.
Oh,
the little green guy.
Oh shit! But no, I think another luchador that would have to be my favorite, and I guess he could. Do you consider him a luchador? But I have to go with John Morrison. I have to because I have to consider him technically a luchador.
Well, I'm talking about mask. Like
like
wrestlers with
mask
right now.
Oh, gotcha. I'm gonna go with El Gran Luchador.
Huh?
You don't know who the fuck El Gran Luchador is?
No.
Google it right now. I dare you. No balls.
I don't know
Google
how to.
it right now.
I wouldn't know how to spell it.
I'm talking about Donnie. He's gonna fucking die when he finds out who El Gran Luchador is.
Okay, so wait. What? So what
E-L.
E-L. Okay.
Grand, like grande.
Grand. Okay.
With an E at the end.
E at the end.
Is this Jack Black?
Then Luchador. No, it's not. He's gonna laugh his ass off when he finds out who it is.
Hold on.
He spoke Mexican in a mask, I think on SmackDown at one point. Look on Luchador, that's who I'm going with. No context.
This guy right here.
You know who that is, right?
Who is that?
It's Paul London in a mask.
I thought you were gonna mention fucking Jack Black from.
No, that's Paul London in a mask. No, I'm not talking about Nacho Libre.
That's my favorite luchador.
Wait a minute.
That's Paul London in a mask, El Gran Luchador, and he spoke Spanish, fluent Spanish on SmackDown.
Isn't he Puerto Rican or Mexican?
He's Mexican. He's half Mexican.
Oh shit. Oh my god.
Hey, you said luchador, so I gave it to you.
It's Paul London.
Yep, it's Paul London in a mask.
Like I said,
I give you that.
This is gonna be a full Paul London episode, man.
Oh my god.
Paul London
Dude,
looks old as fuck
I gotta think
now.
about this.
But here, all jokes aside, though, Paul London is one of my favorite luchadors, if not my favorite, under Rey Mysterio, neck and neck, because of the difference in accolades, not only that he has, but the difference in character that he has. And he's played different in WWE, and he's also played numerous roles in the indies, which is fucking excellent, especially Lucha Underground, my favorite, as the leader of the White Rabbit Cult, the Rabbit Hole.
Yeah, so Danny, who's your favorite luchador wrestler, with the mask?
Probably Rey Mysterio, the only one that I really know. Like I know fucking Sin Cara, I know.
Did you cut him again? Oh, he muted his entire shit. He said Rey Mysterio. You mean Mysterio? I'll Rey Mysterio, bitch. I'll Rey Mysterio, bitch.
Okay.
Oh god.
Danny,
This
are you
fucking
there? Are you there, Danny? I can't
I can't hear or see him. He got lost. He got lost in the fray. Oh shit. Oh shit. Did you just kick him? Oh shit. I
No,
think he left.
he does not know shit about the cruiserweights. Danny is not in the rest of this episode remaining.
Oh my
He's
god.
literally just sitting there eating smart food popcorn, trying to fit in.
Oh shit, he's coming back. He's coming back with a vengeance. He's mad. He's mad as fuck. Oh
I didn't even
my
know.
God.
Oh shit. Hey, at least you found a way to get back on the thing.
Oh my eyes.
You sent me
Alright, I
a
can
fucking
see.
link, you
I was
fucking
blind, but now
ass
I see.
So the only one that you can think of that's wore a mask as a luchador is Rey Mysterio. The only one that you
The only
know.
one that I know and the only one that I've actually liked. I didn't.
Yeah, I wasn't really.
No, he can. How does he only know?
He said
No,
you don't
no,
get
listen,
to do that.
listen. How does he know? Real quick, how does he only know Rey Mysterio? In AEW, there's Rey Fenix, Pentagon, Sin Cara,
This dude just
Kalisto.
fucking destroyed his. He canceled himself.
Dude, he just went to freaking watch Lindsay Dorado wrestle.
Oh my god.
Wow, he only.
Oh my god. This man is. He just canceled himself.
He just.
Wow.
He said that Rey Mysterio is the only one that he knows and cares about, even though he just watched Lindsay Dorado wrestle and said
Did
he
he
was
call me a
amazing.
square for not watching AEW until I said Rey Fenix is a beast, but apparently not much of one to remember.
I wonder if he's gonna come back or not. If he does, he does. If he doesn't, he doesn't. So now I'm
Yeah.
gonna get into my favorite luchador.
Who's your favorite luchador?
For me, it's always been probably Rey Mysterio, but when it comes down to it, I gotta say, like, through time, I really feel like Pentagon and Rey Fenix have really become my favorite luchadors because the stuff that I see, man, with Rey Fenix and Pentagon is absolutely crazy. I'm gonna probably have to go a little bit more. Hold on. Come back. Okay, so yeah, when it comes down to it, I
Yeah.
feel like for me, I lean more towards Rey Fenix because I went
Yeah.
to this live event Northeast Wrestling back in 2018 where
Yeah,
I actually
he-
got to see Rey Fenix fight Kenny Omega for a whole hour.
Man, his wipeout that he had not too long ago was nasty, dude. Like every time he performs out, like it's kind of cringe. Like I'm genuinely like terrified for this dude's career. Like any arm injury such as that is very hard to come back from, especially when you're going through therapy and trying to work it out again. Like that is gotta be daunting and absolutely terrifying.
Hey, he's back.
We were just
I
discussing
promise I will not
Phoenix.
kick you out ever again, okay? I will never do that to you again.
I'm not worried about it. I'm uploading the podcast right now, so if I stop paying attention, just
Hey, it all
Remind me.
worked out. Let's go. Yeah, so speaking of like my Northeast wrestling experience, I think that's why I lean a little bit more towards Rey Fenix than Pentagon. Even though Pentagon put on a great match that night with Darby Allin. And that was the first time I ever saw Darby Allin was at that Northeast wrestling show I went to in 2018. But
Yeah.
for me, I gotta say Rey Fenix is probably my favorite luchador now. Before, Rey Mysterio.
I didn't know we
definitely.
could mention fucking AEW talent.
You
We were
can
talking about
mention
luchadors in
The
general
entire
and
fucking
cruiserweights.
show, we were talking about fucking Paul London in 2004 and fucking the Ruthless Aggression. Nobody said.
I asked
You
you what
could've
your
given
favorite
everything.
luchador was, and you said
Yeah.
the only one I can think of is Rey
'Cause
Mysterio.
I didn't know.
Even
yeah, I
though
didn't know.
you just went to a show with me at Blitzkrieg and Lindsay Dorado wrestled Diva Ludo.
Yeah, dude. You could
As
literally
I said,
fucking mention
I don't
anybody.
like Lucha House Party. They were too PG.
That's fine. That's fine. Well, like again, you could say any luchador from any promotion, any brand. Like
well,
it
I
doesn't
picked
matter.
Lucha Brothers. The fucking tag team Hell in the not the tag team cage match that they had with the Young Bucks a couple months ago. I don't think
See, there you
there's
go.
never
Look at
there's
that. Now he can add
there's
into
never
it.
been a
There
better
we
tag
go.
team match than
That's
that. I
simple.
don't think outside of maybe
For
like the
real.
TLC matches, but
No, absolutely.
making
But yeah,
things
you can mention any luchador from any promotion. It doesn't matter which, man. That could be
well,
anybody.
I wish somebody would have told me that to begin with. Donnie, you fucking asshole.
I love how it's your fault for him not getting with it in the
Bro,
assignment.
the
and not
entire
understanding the
fucking show
assignment.
we've been talking about fucking like the ruthless aggression era.
Well, we were also talking about just
You-
cruiserweights in general. We were talking about favorites,
see-
and
you
Paul
see
London just
this-
happens to be one of mine.
You see, this is the problem. Friggin' fans like you, Danny. This is why we don't have cruiserweight wrestling anymore. We don't have cruiserweight wrestling anymore.
Fuck you.
He's on his bullshit.
We do not have cruiserweight wrestling because of you.
I need a hairier back, and I need to shave my head, and I need to grow my
What do you
hair.
want? What are you trying to be? George the Animal Steel?
No, damn it, Mackle.
Ah, okay.
He seems the Killian Dane type. Just
What
shorter.
about the new cruiserweights when they reintroduced them in 2016? Did you guys pay attention to that at all?
I wasn't watching in 2016.
I never watched the Cruiserweight Classic, but I would have to say like one of outside of like Luchador, one of my new favorite cruiserweights. It has to be
Any
Ricochet.
cruiserweight.
Ricochet.
Okay, see, now I can get with that. See, Ricochet is absolutely ridiculous, but the unfortunate curse of Ricochet is he is a smaller guy. A very smaller guy. Like, he's
In a
like
cruiserweight
smaller.
division would like really help him a lot.
Absolutely, but unfortunately, I don't see him in a main title perspective.
Oh,
Like,
I don't either.
I don't, and it's unfortunate. You know,
I'm surprised he retained the fucking IC title against Jinder Mahal. I swore to God, I was like, dude, they're gonna fucking bury him. Nope, he's still champion.
in a lot of ways, dude. In a lot of ways, I kind of am starting to get with the program of Vince is starting to really listen to the fans because he has made some vast improvements comparatively in the last year.
I don't think he's listening to
with what he has, but with what has come out recently, more consecutively, has been good. So I will say he's starting to do something right. He's starting to look into something.
And
absolutely,
I feel like the only reason, and I'm pretty sure we touched on it before, the only reason he's booking Cody Rhodes the way he is now is that way he can at some point sign more AEW talent.
I disagree.
I don't.
disagree.
Why else would they give him the same exact gimmick that he was using in another company? WWE
because
does
they
not,
respected what he became.
WWE does not do that, dude.
Because he proved Vince McMahon wrong. He went out there and became a superstar.
Doesn't matter. Bro,
it does matter, actually.
People that are in NXT, every time they come to the main roster, they change their fucking name.
Sir.
Like, look at okay, here's a good example. EC3. Remember, he was Derek Bateman, then got released by WWE, went to TNA, did the EC3 thing, got over as fuck, and then they brought him to WWE as EC3.
And he didn't fucking do anything.
Well. And that's not his fault.
Here's the thing. Fucking,
they booked him like shit.
Cody Rhodes, bro. Listen, Cody Rhodes not only proved himself as a superstar outside of WWE, regardless of the slander, which is a very big thing in Vince McMahon's book, to forget about all that shit, knowing that it's just business, is also an executive VP of AEW, a big promotion, a bigger threat, whether WWE wants to admit it or not, is a very big thing. And in order to keep him, they obviously met with his demands. Contract, legal, signed, done deal. They wanted that, and obviously he proved himself enough to Vince McMahon to keep that gimmick going, to give him everything from AEW, because he is a big star now. When he came in at WrestleMania, I felt like I was watching a main event match.
Yes.
Yeah, but
I felt like I was watching a 5-star main event match because Cody Rhodes did that him fucking self and proved that as a executive VP. In Vince's eyes, that is amazing for business, and Cody was one of the main fucking reasons AEW has thrived to this point.
Yeah.
There would be no AEW without Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, but what I'm saying,
thank you.
If they booked him like shit, nobody from AEW would want to go there. WWE has went on record. They want Jade Cargill. They're interested in MJF. Yeah. They want Lucha Brothers. They want Wardlow. They want the Young Bucks. They want all these guys. They knew if they booked Cody like shit, none of them would fucking sign to him.
Where I understand your point,
but here's the thing.
I don't believe that.
Why would they book Cody shit when they're paying the guy, what, like $3 million a year?
which is already big for him to come back and get that much.
You
That's
know
about as much
WWE is not going to give you
Kevin Owens is getting.
because you know WWE is not going to give you millions and book
They
you
were
like
paying
shit. Now, if you're
fucking-
getting $100,000, they don't give a
They're
crap.
paying-
They wipe their ass.
They're
with it.
paying fucking Dean Ambrose fucking $2 million before you left, and they fucking booked him horrible.
Well, they
last
were
12 months.
also. Here's the thing, though. He was also leaving on a very bitter perspective. Cody Rhodes was coming in on a brand new, clean fucking slate up on top of his accomplishments outside of the company. That's something you got to put in mind as well.
Mhm.
Oh,
You know, he put in the fucking work outside of just being a wrestling superstar. He also went in and built a legitimate business that thrived, and Vince McMahon knows that it thrived. And Cody Rhodes is one of the main fucking reasons. So he knows that Cody learned a thing or two in business as well.
yeah.
And that is huge in a wrestling promotions company, especially coming from somebody
And
who is also
you
in
want
the
to know
ring.
who you want to know who's good at business as well? His dad, the late great Dusty Rhodes.
Absolutely. And I'm pretty sure, regardless, quote me on it, Dusty would actually agree with this choice.
All I'm saying is
Yes.
WWE is
I'd be proud, Dad.
in a lot of hot water now. So
I
Are
believe
they?
it.
between the
Are
fucking
they
Especially with
Sasha
Naomi
Banks
and
and
fucking
Naomi
Sasha.
thing, between the Usos winning the fucking tag titles, even though there's a lot of wrestling fans that are not hip to the business side of things and the choices that are made. WWE,
I'm gonna have to
WWE's in a lot.
rewatch Raw. I'm gonna have to rewatch Raw and SmackDown 100%, just because I do know a lot of bigger things have happened since, and I do want to at least get caught up and like see it for myself so I can be more in it, because I have been kind of
The match
neglectful
itself
lately.
was absolutely fucking dog shit. The ending, however, because they won with Roman Reigns' help, exactly
Yeah, I
how
know.
everybody expected it to win. But the ending where the Usos and Reigns absolutely destroyed Riddle and Randy Orton, that was fucking awesome. If they fucking did shit like that every week, I would fucking have a lot more better things to say. But it was suspenseful. It makes me want to tune in Monday and next week on SmackDown to see the aftermath and see what's going to happen. You don't really get that excitement anymore when it comes to WWE, and it sucks.
Yeah, I heard some like rumors speculating that they want Randy or fucking Riddle to face Reigns. And honestly, I'm with it. Like I would love a match between Randy and Reigns, because that would be fucking amazing. I love Randy Orton, I love Roman Reigns. That would be an obvious 5-star match, but there's something about Riddle right now that I really think is something big is coming for him. And I think it might be the Royal
I think
Rumble.
Randy Orton needs
I
another.
think the Royal Rumble he is going to win.
Randy Orton needs another title run, and he needs to drop the title to Riddle to be like a passing of the torch kind of thing, because they have
Yes.
history with each
I
other.
think the angle is going to be, and quote me, Randy's going to go against Reigns because Reigns is taking time off. Randy's going to win one of the titles, if not both. Eventually, he's going to have a title reign with fucking Riddle. There's going to be obviously be supportive of each other. Riddle's going to win the Rumble in 23. He's going to win the Rumble. He's going to go on to face Randy. And it's going to come full circle.
Well, people are saying,
But I think there's gonna be a lot of respect in that fucking match. There's gonna be a hell of a match if that's where they're gonna go, and I would pay fucking bucks to see
there's
it.
also a lot of rumors going around that Drew McIntyre, who is going to be facing Reigns for the titles at Clash at the Castle in September.
Yes,
A lot of people are saying that he's going to win one of the titles for Reigns, and it's going to be his big moment since he won the titles in the fucking in the Performance Center.
honestly, I'm ready for it, because even Paul
I'll be
Heyman
okay
said
with
Drew
that.
McIntyre is the right person in the right place at the wrong time. He even said that if Roman Reigns
agree.
was not around, McIntyre would be the face of the company, and I would be more than satisfied.
And you know something,
Drew McIntyre is the future.
and you know something big is
100%.
going to happen, because McIntyre wasn't on SmackDown this week because he's over in the UK promoting the Clash at the Castle. So him doing all that work behind the scenes, trying to get the event set up, he's been advocating for an event over there for years,
and it's out in the UK, his home. So it's going to be a big
something
thing.
big is going to
It's
happen.
something huge.
So what I think Reigns drops the WWE title to Drew McIntyre, and then that opens up the storyline for Randy to feud with McIntyre. Maybe McIntyre holds the title for a couple months, drops it to Randy at Royal Rumble or something, and then at WrestleMania we get Riddle versus Randy for the WWE title, and there's always that possibility too.
I don't know what it is, man, but I just am a firm believer in Matt Riddle. I am a firm believer, 100%. I know he goes by Riddle, but I am a firm believer, and I use his full name because I have nothing but respect for him. Like 100%, dude. That I want to see a big title around that dude's waist and have a wealthy fucking reign.
Yeah, so just in general, like overall, just, anything you guys like would like to add about the cruiserweights or anything before we close off this week's episode?
Um, I would like the cruiserweight division to be taken a lot more seriously. I want to see the cruiserweight title be revived. I want to see that division thrive again. I want to see WWE sign a lot more talent, ones that are promising, ones that'll stick around. I want to see them expand again, especially with the revenue that they are making. I want to see a little bit more insight of that as well, because we're kind of being just kind of kept in the dark as to why they're making so much money off all these budget cuts and what they're gearing up to do. But I also, I don't know. I guess it's a whole. I wish in general in the industry that cruiserweights were taking a lot more seriously.
But I feel like the thing is, though, I feel like they are. It's just they're not really under cruiser. They're not called cruiserweights anymore because a lot more little guys do get more opportunities nowadays to
What
wrestle,
I
like
wish,
Marco Stunt and other guys like
what I
that.
wish happened was, I wish WWE would relinquish the rights to the cruiserweight title or light heavyweight title and have that be an AEW title, because there's a lot more cruiserweights in AEW than there is in WWE.
Nope.
Yeah, there
Well,
there
there is
is.
no. No, I'm saying there is no cruiserweight title anymore because 205 Live isn't even a thing anymore, is it?
No.
Nope.
Exactly. So it's not even a thing
And
anymore, bro. So it's off the
in
table, anyways.
AEW, literally a lot of their small guys. Sammy Guevara back in the day would be considered a cruiserweight. He is going for the TNT title.
Yo, he destroyed the fuck out of the title on. I don't know if it was a real.
That was awesome. I like the pairing of him and Kazarian, but
I
here's
like
like
Sami Guevara.
here's what I'm gonna add. Here's what I'm gonna add to this. My final thoughts in general. The cruiserweights, I feel like are very underappreciated, and like we really don't appreciate them as much as we should. But because of the cruiserweights through the years, we are very fortunate enough that now, like, somebody my height, 5'6", can get an opportunity in the wrestling business. It might a
Yeah.
lot some of the old school guys might say, "Oh, that's exposing the business and stuff," but it really gives that kid that dream of like, I want to be just like Rey Mysterio, or like I want to be just like Hornswoggle. Like you
Yeah.
never know, or or a really tall guy. I want to be just like the Great Khali. But just in general, I feel like yes, there's no more division, and it sucks because, in my opinion,
Yeah, I want to be just like the Great Khali.
I
I want to hold my title upside down on live television.
but when it comes down to it, like I really like wish that the cruiserweight like division would be treated with a little bit more respect, because here's the thing, I feel like the world championship, the value of it is going down through the years
Absolutely.
because of, these smaller guys winning it. Yes, it's cool to see Rey Mysterio get the big moment at WrestleMania 22. Yes, it's cool to see some of these moments, but at the same time, it's the world heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
Heavyweight. And you see, I think that's
Absolutely.
because, like, look at the UFC.
Because,
You have
like,
all
again,
of these.
Finn Balor, he won the Universal title, and he's
Yes,
technically a cruiserweight.
Seth Rollins is not heavyweight. He's
I would see him
technically a
more as
light
a heavyweight.
heavyweight.
I know, but technically I would see him more towards a heavyweight because of his
Yeah.
build. 100.
But here's what I'm trying to say. Like, the UFC, you have all these different weight classes, so you have all these different championships, and they're very prestigious, all of them. But like, why? Like with the cruiserweight title, I wish that like if they did bring it back, they would call it
This
maybe
motherfucker.
call it the cruiserweight heavyweight champion or something, so it
Yeah.
has more prestige to it, so that like a smaller guy, that's what they're fighting for.
Absolutely.
Because I think that's why like it really worked out a lot in WCW and WWE at the time, and TNA, because literally like you had the smaller guys going for that championship, and that was their main focus.
Absolutely.
I definitely agree with you, Donald Duck. Now let's go have a hardcore match, ladies and gentlemen.
Dead fuck.
Let's go have a hardcore match, man.
You ready to get your fucking face painted on the curb?
Let's go have a tickle fight. Let's go.
Man, I'm sick of those shit.
Oh, that's what it is, man.
And
I think it's definitely a good way to close
and I think
off this
with
week's
that, ladies and
Absolutely.
gentlemen, Donnie, I'm gonna let you close it off.
That
We are
is
out,
a wrap
man.
on this episode.
Yes. And to close it off, just want to
Touch
say,
yourself. Yep.
Danny, if you were not a toxic stalking fan, you probably would be going to AEW with Ben and I.
But no, he's a fake fan, and I'm the actual fan of
God.
AEW. This dude is a WWE mark. So, here I am.
I didn't know you were.
I let
Yeah.
him borrow that title. I bought it for him. It was like $20 at Walmart.
It was 10.
Oh.
Yeah, I bought it for him. It was $10 at Walmart. So I let him borrow that. Yeah, he's putting it out for the clout right now. He's not an AEW fan. He has no fucking clue who even Kenny Omega is. It's nuts.
He's never heard of him.
You mean the
ever.
guy that's
He's a
making the
WWE mark.
video game? That guy?
See, I told him that before this episode even aired. I was like, here's the script. Go buy it. They need to fucking know that you're the AEW mark. But the secret is out. Danny is a WWE mark. He absolutely loves to kiss Vince McMahon's ass.
That's
He is
the
the
secret.
VIP Kiss My Ass Club. So with that, ladies and gents, it is a fantastic night. It's been a
Donnie,
great
you don't need to
episode.
do it this time.
This guy. He can't show his face because he is ashamed. But regardless,
So, let
I
us
hope you
know
guys
in
had
the
a great
comment
night.
section below, guys,
Night.
what your thoughts were, like some of your favorite cruiserweight moments and stuff in wrestling. If you guys enjoyed this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling Talk Show, make sure to smash that like button now. If you guys are not We Are Wrestling Maniacs yet already, the best way to support us is by hitting that subscribe button now, turning on the post notifications. The links are down in the description below.
Peace out, Dan.
You can go follow Ben and I on our social medias. Fuck Danny, because we're the ones that are going to AEW, so
He's a Uso fan.
you are going to be getting an exclusive vlog from the We Are Wrestling channel and not Danny H Vlogs. So go
Nope.
support us. The links are down in the description below. Danny was such a poor sport in this week's episode about the
Oh, he's
Cruiserweight.
back apparently. Yep, there he is.
Friggin' Vince McMahon lover. And to all
Vince
the We Are
McMahon
Wrestling
ass
Maniacs
kisser.
out there
VIP.
worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.
2 sticks of pure rage.